Hey everybody, so today I felt like showing off the process of me building a guitar for this little project I was doing, and going right into it. You can see here I'm building up the foundation of this guitar. This is actually like the second or third time I tried making this guitar because I was messing up a lot of stuff, and I was like, yeah, I need to just restart. And it ended up looking so much better. So building this out, you see I just put the subsurface division on there, and I probably shouldn't have put that on as soon as I did, because it kind of distracts from the whole body of what I'm actually making. But I just wanted to get a rough idea of where I was going. So I started building out the basic shape of this, and I was really trying to focus a lot on the edge flow of this model. I really wanted that to be a big, that's what I wanted to work on the most here. So you can see I'm trying to get, working on it is difficult because I have these like pole points where I need to divert the flow here and there, and that's what made it so difficult. There's a lot of curves and turns on this model, and it's funny because actually I don't use the center part at all by the end, because I came up with a different design idea and I totally scrapped the more realistic look of these pickups. So those are gonna go away. But I wanted to include this part anyways, just to show you the whole process that I went through when making this. So you see I had more straight edge flow on this pickup spot, but I decided no, I need to follow the edge flow, so I decided to get it curved around, and you can see how it makes that the end pole there in the upper right. You always want to try to have as few of those as you can, but when there's a change in direction, they're it's kind of inevitable. You're gonna have them. Just know when to use them, is what I say. So here you see I'm still going through building out the framework here, and originally I was thinking I was gonna have some kind of pick guard, which is this bigger area in the lower right, but when I redesigned everything I was like, I actually don't really need that. So later on you'll see that I get rid of that. But all good practice. That's the purpose of this. And you see, right here, this was a very interesting little area for the edge flow to be going kind of all over the place. It was a real challenge to get this to flow right. But I got all as you can see, if you were to follow the edge. And sometimes I get just try to see if I can put some edge loops in to see how the flow works. You can see there that I realized I need to kind of join two edge flows right next to each other, which makes a kind of a nasty end pull there. But as long as the edge flow works, I feel like I'm always going in the right direction there. And there's no shame in ripping up some faces and retrying your flow. Sometimes you just need it. Alright, so we finished up the front face. I'm trying to smooth everything out because I know my placement wasn't ideal for all that stuff. So it's great to use the sculpt tools for that case. Here I'm checking the measurement of this guitar because I wanted the guitar to be like actually right proportions. So you see me frantically looking back and forth between reference pictures, and I had some other reference pictures pulled up on the other monitor. So here's me. I figured I was going to make an indent on these pickups, and then I was going to actually model in the real pickup because in one of my references that's how it looked, and I'm trying, as you can see, to keep that edge flow on the inside of these pickup channels, which I debated whether that was important or not, but at least for the first inner circle, then beyond that I didn't really care. So here you can see that I'm trying to manually straighten out some of these lines because it was really bothering me that they were kind of going all over the place, and it felt like it was causing more issues than solutions. And then you can see here that I'm running into some edge loop problems, and I'm just ripping things up just to get it to work. And as you can see here, when you think that your edge flow is going good in some areas, once you start trying to put some loop cuts in, you start to realize, oh, this is actually, I've got some problems here that I didn't realize I had before. So you see here, I started to get a little bit more into the flow of getting the edge loops correct for those pickup areas. And now I'm trying to check out the edge flow of that messy area. And I'm trying to smooth things out without messing up some of the indents. I just wanted to smooth out the surface faces of the top of the guitar, not anything else. So you might have seen that there where the whole model turned red, and it was because I didn't realize that the entire model I was technically modeling it inside out. So I had to flip everything around, make it all blue. So I found this reference of a guitar with a pickup that rotates. So you have actually like 5 pickups on this entire guitar. And I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I have to put that in this design. So this is where I start to scrap the whole thing I had in the center of the bass guitar and start to make it a little crazier. I'm just lining up my reference photos, making sure these pickup spaces are oriented correctly. So I started with the 3 pickups, but I was like, oh yeah, I definitely still need these humbucker kind of style pickups. So let me just start modeling those in. And while I started that, I was like, okay, maybe I can start actually getting this pickup in the guitar. So here's me trying to join the two. So at this point, I'm trying to just smooth out, make it like kind of like a perfect circle around this thing. And I definitely struggle with this because I didn't know of too many great techniques to get that result. And the model never quite got to where I wanted it with how round it would be. But I feel like I got close enough, and then we kind of jumped forward here. I didn't get any video of this, but I got the headstock built up, and I'm starting to just fill out the back of this guitar now. Finally. So here I was definitely trying to think, based off my reference images, how the headstock and the body join together, and it was definitely a little tricky, but I feel like I got close to the right idea near the end. And here's me using the smooth tools again, because the kind of like autofill feature I'm using kind of makes the little jagged edges, which is actually very satisfying to straighten it out. Now here you can start to see where I couldn't just continually make these edges. I had to really think about the edge flow of the back. And while the back doesn't have a whole lot of thought in the edge flow, I definitely needed to think of it a little bit, because as you see later on, I ended up causing some really crazy edge flow. These lines started going all around the back. And then there you saw I decided to make all these main parts separate objects because I felt like it would be easier to work with them. So here I was thinking about having the 1/4-inch cable connector, whatever you would call it. I wanted to model that in like as one object, but later you'll see I decided to go against that. I changed it to be a separate object. Here I started making some of the bridge string pickups. I was thinking about rounding out the edges here, but felt like that was making things a little more complicated. You can see I'm redoing the back because the edge flow just got too messy for me to handle. I couldn't handle it. I had to change it. This cable spot for the electric guitar, it really ended up being one of the more tricky parts of this guitar, and I was working on it for so long, and I was getting so frustrated with it. I was like, you know what, this doesn't need to be a part of the body. So I'm going to just totally scrap it. You can see where I was really struggling with it. I definitely gave it a good shot though. That edge flow just wasn't going in the direction that I really wanted it. And I feel like that was taking away a lot from the model. So here I'm fleshing out the bridge of the guitar where the string comes in from the bottom and goes up the neck. These are fun to make. So then I start working on some more entertaining things. I was getting tired of working on the body of the guitar. I was like, okay, let me just start working on something else here because I'm losing my mind. So I started working on the key tuners and the little gearbox thing. And these are really fun to make. You can see I used the array modifier to build that up. And I believe I do the same with, I do the same with the actual pegs, which really saves a lot of your work. You don't have to redo your stuff like 6 times. So then you see here, I turned them all into separate objects because I was going to rig them. But then the problem with that is that you really shouldn't touch your model after that, which I unfortunately did. So after I made all these changes, I was like, okay, I need to redo that array modifier and just delete those other pegs. Not too big of a deal, but I went back to some of the pickups to flesh them out, get more detail in them. And these are the kind of magnets that go onto those pickups that catch the vibrations of the strings. And as I was putting this all together and starting to put the strings in, I realized that my proportions of everything were getting a little off, so I had to work on those. Here I started to realize that the guitar neck was too high up, so I had to pull it back a little bit so the string wasn't doing weird things. Here I'm doing some measurements again, making sure, based off of my references, they're as close as they should be, or could be. This part was really satisfying. It felt like I was actually stringing up a guitar. That was very fun. So here, I ended up not recording a lot more stuff, but I, at this point, had fully rigged the guitar. I have all the tuning pegs, all the knobs, and the center, the rotating pickup. I got that all rigged up. And eventually I started to work on weight painting. And then here I'm using some geometry nodes to actually get those strings to vibrate like a real string would. And I made up this simple trigonometric function that gets the strings to vibrate the way real strings would. Right here, they're not totally accurate. I end up making a different equation later on. So here I was trying to make my geometry nodes a little more complicated. I wanted to get the strings to be able to be pressed down by the fingers of the character that was going to be using this, and have the string to cut off on the vibrations where the finger was laying down. That was still a work in progress, but I feel like I got pretty close to that at some point. Then here I'm going through and trying to add more detail to this model, because the whole idea was that this model was going to be kind of in a junkyard setting, like a junkyard robot setting, something similar to that. So I wanted to start throwing on a lot of details here. But not before making some more custom handles for the root bone. Which I always seem to struggle getting just right, until I realized that there's a much simpler way of doing it over in the right panel. Now here I was running into a weird glitch where I couldn't weight paint certain things, and that was getting really frustrating. I ran into a problem also with the geometry nodes, that I couldn't parent I kind of was using like empty geometry, so I couldn't get those to be parented because there was no geometry for me to weight paint. But I figured it out in the end. So here's me throwing in some more detail. I used the built-in gear generator for Blender, but I wasn't super happy with the way it generated it, so I went and made some changes here and there. This is me throwing some ideas together. I wasn't sure exactly what to build. Then after looking at my reference photos, I was like, oh, I need some button straps. So here's me making my own screws before I realized that Blender has its own screw built-in objects that it can auto-generate. And then I just needed to weight paint all these new objects I was adding. So this part was really fun. I wanted to put some screws in here, but I wanted to make sure that they were evenly spaced. So I went ahead and I used the array modifier plus the curve modifier to get them to go down this path and make sure they were evenly spaced the whole way down. Now, unfortunately, I was trying to randomly rotate them along their local y-axis or z-axis, and that just wasn't working, and I don't know why. So yeah, that was about it for the guitar. We never got it to a complete state, but I was really proud of where I got it to. And as a bonus, here's another model that I made for our little short video. These were fun to make. I tried making them higher detail with some sculpting. I really roughed this little handle thing together. And this model was really fun to make. It's always fun to make more organic looking things. And I used the curve modifier again to get it to follow the path. And it turned into the handle of this garbage can. I'm just making slight adjustments after looking at my reference photo. That pretty much does it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and like the video if you want to see more. I'm hoping to make more breakdown videos and time lapses of future builds. So thanks for watching.